first of all, we're not promoting drinking any kind of alcohol, especially before flight, but this news is so epic that we had to show you. One of the Polish vodka producers successfully finished a social media campaign together with British company Spend into Space. Underneath a special gas balloon, they sent a bottle of vodka into the edge of space. A special system at the altitude of 35 kilometers above the ground starts to pour the drink into the empty glass. So I guess this is the first ever alcohol opened at this altitude. Anyway, please remember this is only a media campaign. Don't drink and fly. I'm your host, REGAN TETLOW. No vodka here, and we're ready to go with another great Air Sports News episode. But before we do, don't forget to like us, share and subscribe as well. Come on. Okay, so this skydiving video spread out worldwide to become one of the most popular in many media broadcasts. It shows how skydivers can adversely affect an aircraft in flight when too many gather outside and towards the tail, crossing over the centre of gravity. This video was recorded in Skydive Muzzle Bay in South Africa. 15 skydivers jumped out from the Beechcraft King Air turboprop aircraft at 16,000 feet. 6 skydivers were in the float position outside the aircraft, including the videographer, and this was the second load of the day. Then the aircraft stalled and entered a flat spin. So what actually happened? Well, some of the skydivers claim that the King Air is very hard to maintain speed when there's so many jumpers on the outside of the aircraft's centre of gravity. Also because this aircraft is basically designed not for skydiving but for corporate flights. Even with Twin Otters, there have been several accidents with stalls, but none of them with a spin like this after it. And the spin of the aircraft, which falls down like a rock amongst the skydivers, is the most dangerous situation for everyone. Important points to consider: always ask the pilot how many he wants outside, get into position quickly and practice this a lot more on the ground. And guys inside, well, let's keep a few behind the CLG. While we're recording this episode, athletes at the FEI 17th Paragliding World Cup in Argentina are on the 6th task of this great event in Tucumán. As the pilots took off on Monday's 55-kilometre task heading south, there was still a cloud on the ridge. When 80 pilots bombed out before the first turn point, it looked as if there was zero chance of anyone making it around the course. It was a slow task where much of it was flown in tourist mode, gently and slowly, with plenty of gear changes. A lot of time was spent struggling for survival, concentrating on the sunspots, everyone staying up as best as they could. A day where patience was key. As Tom Coonan reported on Monday, the valleys of the track had many clouds as well, and it was fully shaded at the end of the task of another 65-kilometre route. So the top 3 leading point blaggers, those who were in lead the most, were Jan Richard Hansen from Norway, Daniel Teikas from Germany and Lambert Baptiste from France. The top 3 teams so far are United Kingdom on first place, Brazil second and Argentina third. According to the Paragliding World Champs, we have a very fresh report on the sport from Polish paraglider Michał Gierlich, who explains some details about the location and the competition. What a turnout, 150 competitors, Michał.
Yeah, it's pretty crowded here. Conditions are pretty slow with low cloud bases, so it's really crowded in the air.
Yeah, I mean, that's world championships in any sport, isn't it? You know, it's all about the mental game as well, keeping yourself focused with all these standbys.
Yeah, it's in our sport, it's with this high level of the competitors, it's all about your mental preparations and your motivation. So we, even during days like today, we have to stay motivated for the next upcoming days. Name of the city is San Miguel de Tucumán. It's in North Argentina at the foothills of Andes. And we are at 500 meters. The takeoff is 1,300 meters high. It's like hills with lots of jungle. Some pilots yesterday tried already how to land in the jungle. And conditions, as I said before, are pretty slow.
Air Sports Promotion is one of the biggest rally and navigation racing discipline promoters worldwide. And recently, we brought you epic broadcasts from the World and European Championships from Poland, Portugal and Austria. And we know that the biggest problem of this sport is how to show it to the spectators in a TV-friendly way with lots of emotions and understanding. Now, our Norwegian friends have found a solution. This video shows a suggestion for the new task using Air Sports live tracking together and the live broadcast of the championships in 2021. The competition was broadcast by NRK, which is the national Norway television service, with thousands of viewers every day. Overall, this video shows what is possible to achieve when the Air Sports collaborates with the media and the modern technology, providing live tracking and interesting details provided in real time. So we already know that from the 13th to the 27th of August 22 in the Gliding Centre in Husbands, Bosworth, Leicestershire, UK, the 11th FEI World Women's Gliding Championship will take place. The world's top sportswomen will race their gliders over 14 intense competition days and thousands of kilometres to become the world champion. With some spectacular mass launches of up to 100 gliders, able to watch that as well with race tracking. And I had the privilege to speak about this amazing event with Liz Sparrow, one of the organisers of this event and one of the best British glider pilots as well. Take a look.
Most people have no idea what a gliding competition is about, so let me tell you. We'll have between probably 50 and 60 of the world's top female international glider pilots. And after the opening ceremonies on the 13th, but then from the 14th to the 27th, we'll be racing every day. And a glider competition, what we're doing, it's a race. So it's like Formula One, only higher up. Yeah. And we'll be racing each day, unless the weather conditions aren't good enough. We'll be racing somewhere around maybe 400, 500, 600 kilometers at speeds, if we're lucky, over 100 miles an hour, certainly over 100 kph, all on, you can see the sun behind me, all on the sun's power, all on free energy. We need a bit of a hand getting into the air, but after that, it's all on free energy, and it is just, it's the best sport in the world, Regan. I promise you, it is nothing better to do. So each day we'll be flying that, and there are 3 separate classes for different sorts of gliders, from the lower performance ones to the very, very high tech, super sleek, nice little number you've got showing behind you there. So
Sebastian Carver.
Oh, well, there you are. Yeah, he's not bad. As glider pilots go, he's not bad. But in fact, the top women pilots not very far behind.
And you can watch the full-length interview with Liz, as always, on our Air Sports Promotion YouTube channel. So while we have given you quite a lot of news about the Drone Racing League in the last few episodes, we have missed what is going on in the Drone Champions League. Athletes from this series are not competing in real life, but that doesn't mean that the virtual flying is not worth seeing. The last DCL Grand Prix was in Lax, Switzerland, the digitally reconstructed area in the Alps. When it came to track records, the best time on this ice party was set by Levi Johnson and Ming Chan Kim. After 2 days of competing, Quadro Force One from USA are on the lead, British X-Blade Racing in second, and Danish Apex Racing in third. The next DCL competition will start on the 27th of November, and it will be the Great Wall of China Grand Prix. Microsoft and Xbox announced the Flight Simulator Game of the Year edition as a thank you to the fans who have made the sim such a phenomenon. The Game of the Year edition is enhanced with 5 brand new aircraft and 8 additional handcrafted airports, along with new missions, tutorials, features, photogrammetry, cities, and includes all of the content updates released since the launch in 2020. And what is more important, this update is completely free for all flight sim users. Microsoft Flight Simulator is one of the most spectacular gaming premieres on the market from 2020, which recreates the entire world and airports with extremely detailed precision. You can fly literally anywhere and even find your own home, your school, or your favourite mall in the game, no matter in which country or continent it is. My second special guest this week started skydiving in the late 70s and eventually started the concept of bringing the skydiving boogie to some of the most exotic venues the world had ever seen. A true pioneer in moving hundreds and hundreds of skydivers around the planet on vacation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Herman Landsman. You've done a few events out there now, Herman, in Egypt.
Yeah, this is my 4th one. Yes, correct.
Let's talk a bit about what you do skydiving and all the disciplines in skydiving, but load organising especially, and like what I do, taking a bunch of people in a small aircraft up to the top and organising them in a Twin Otter or a Caravan or Pilatus, between 10 and 20 people is one thing, but taking hundreds in a C-130, wow, I mean, that's a big deal. That's a lot of responsibility.
Luckily I'm not organizing all 100, but I'll organize them in such a way that they can exit safely and do all I can to secure their safe landing spot. Yeah, that's right. And especially here in Egypt, it's quite tricky because you don't want to be too long on the spot, ending up in or over the city too far. So yes, it's quite, it's a responsibility, but I've had to practice.
Yeah, you've been doing C-130s for quite a long time. What kind of running have you got? I mean, from the first people to the last people, what kind of distance are we talking about?
That's quite a bit. The Hercules flies about 130 to 140 knots most of the time. So it's quite some miles stretched out. That's why here in Egypt, at least we did 2 passes, each pass, which enables, like 30, 35 people to exit on one pass without any delays. The moment you start delaying in the exit order, then you might get in trouble. But it worked out very well this time, yes.
And the rest of the conversation with Herman is now available on our YouTube channel. Don't miss it. So if you're standing in line to fly in Jeff Bezos' rocket into space, then we have some good news for you. One place in this incredible machine has been vacated right now because of Tom Hanks. This popular actor admitted in an interview that he received an invitation from Jeff Bezos to a spaceflight organised by...
Go, Jeff, go. Mark, go. Wally, go. Oliver, you are going to space. It's dark up here. Oh, wow. Here comes the crew capsule back from space and touchdown.
Taxes and the Fred Hayes show.
Alright, what a video we have here for all the wingsuit and canopy piloting fans. Wingsuit team fly like bricks Jenna Gigi and high performance canopy pilot Julian Bartel explore the realm of dynamic XRW flying wingsuits together with high performance parachutes. And it was all captured by our previous special guest Yano Cordia and Benjamin Guer. Enjoy. Aerobatic pilot Mike Goulian couldn't ask for a better way to wrap up the 2021 season than at the Wings Over North Georgia airshow. And to top it all off, he had the honour of seeing Michael Wiskus perform his last airshow before retirement.
Well, I gotta go into it with the idea that it's just another show and fly what I do, but I can't help it. look at this whole thing and all my friends and everything, and it's a little emotional. But man, what a great career this has been. I just I can't even explain it. So go do my job. That's what I gotta do.
So maybe some of Michael Whisker's stunt flights will find a place in the Hall of Fame section in the future. Anyway, let's see what we have here this week. On the 5th of November 1911, Galbraith Perry Rogers completed the first transcontinental flight when he landed at Tournament Park, Pasadena, California, in front of a crowd of 20,000 spectators. Only a few months earlier, Cal Rogers had been taught to fly by Orville Wright at the Huffman Prairie, Ohio. On the 7th of August, he had been awarded the FEI Pilot Certificate number 49. On the 6th of November 1957, the XC-521 made the first flight at White Waltham. The Fairleigh Rotodyne was a unique aircraft, like a helicopter. It was capable of hovering and low speed translating flight. The main rotor had both cyclic and collective pitch and provided roll and pitch control. Unlike a helicopter though, thrust for forward flight was provided by two turboprop engines. On the 7th of November 1945, Wing Commander Hugh Joseph Wilson set the first world speed record with a jet-propelled airplane, and the first speed record by an airplane in excess of 600 miles per hour when he flew the Gloucester Meteor aircraft to 975.6 kilometers per hour at an altitude of just 75 meters above sea level. On the 8th of November 1935, Sir Charles Edward Kingsford Smith and co-pilot John Thompson Pitherbridge disappeared while flying the Lady Southern Cross aircraft across the Andaman Sea from Allahabad, Indian Empire to Singapore. They covered a distance of approximately 1,932 nautical miles. The aviators were making and attempting to break a speed record for flight from England to Australia. That's it for this week's show, guys. I hope you've enjoyed our journey, and don't forget to click and like and press the share buttons as well, or subscribe to all our channels. You can also write to us using our official email address. I'm REGAN TETLOW, and I will be delighted to see you here again next week. But until then, stay safe and keep your eyes on the skies.